Joining us now is someone who might be running for the U.S. Senate. He's getting a lot of attention and a lot of chatter. I like what I'm seeing. I like a lot of it. And that is the chairman of Morris Industries and possible candidate for U.S. Senate in Kentucky, Nate Morris. Nate, great to meet you here on the program. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Charlie, it's great to be with you, and I appreciate all the love on social media. And we had a fantastic day yesterday at CPAC. I started my discussion with the news that Mitch McConnell was retiring. And as you know, this is a big moment for Kentuckians. Mitch McConnell has been in the Senate for nearly 40 years, and we need change. And we have a chance for the first time in a generation to rip control back to the people that Mitch McConnell has been strangleholding our people, his cronies, and the people around him. And this is a chance to get it right and have a fresh start. Obviously, I'm an outsider, Charlie. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I've never held elected office before. I was in one of the toughest industries in the world, which is the trash business, the Tony Soprano industry. And I know how to fight and I know how to get tough. And obviously, this is something that I'm taking a look at.
So let's kind of talk more about the McConnell Mafia. You have spared no punch. You've basically pulled no punches. And McConnell has run Kentucky for multiple decades. How will you be profoundly different than what the McConnell junta has done to Kentucky?
Well, I think first and foremost, I'm an outsider, Charlie, and I've been inspired by President Trump. He's a business guy. He wasn't a politician. Obviously, I'm very close to our new Vice President, J.D. Vance, very inspired by his leadership and what he's doing with the country. And I feel like as an entrepreneur and someone that's created jobs, built a company, starting with $10,000 on a credit card, and I ended up taking that company public on the New York Stock Exchange. I've got a lot that I can bring to Washington and bring the fight to the swamp. And that's what's compelled me to say, hey, I got to take a look at this, and this might be the moment to do it.
What are the top issues that you think are facing the people of Kentucky that the prior leadership oligarchy has not been addressing?
Well, I think first and foremost, the border crisis, Charlie. I mean, we've seen our border's been out of control for many years, and politicians on both sides of the aisle failed to secure our border for decades now. We've got to get it right. And if we lose our border, we lose our country. And I also think that the news that's coming out of Europe, the blank checks that have been going to Ukraine have got to stop. We've got to end these senseless wars. We've got to win through strength, but we've got to have a commitment to peace at all costs and do it the way that great diplomats have done it in the past, and use our leverage like President Trump is doing by exerting as much leverage as a deal maker and getting the best deal for the country.
So I want to talk more. Let's actually play Cut 280, a message that you gave at CPAC. Let's play Cut 280.
Hey, Nate Morris here. I'm standing live here at CPAC. I just heard the news that Mitch McConnell is retiring. One of the things that we cannot have in Kentucky is another puppet for Mitch McConnell. The candidates that are looking at this race, Andy Barr and Daniel Cameron, have refused to call out Mitch McConnell for the sabotage of President Trump's agenda. We cannot have a Mitch McConnell puppet filling his seat. This is a seat that belongs to the people, and we need to send someone to Washington who's going to fight with President Trump.
And Kentucky is one of the reddest states in the country, is it not?
Absolutely. President Trump has iconic status in Kentucky, and we love President Trump. His leadership has inspired many. But right now, Charlie, we've got a real crisis potentially in this race shaping up. We've got two solely owned subsidiaries of McConnell Inc., and Andy Barr and Daniel Cameron that are looking at this race. Daniel, as you know, just announced yesterday that he'd be getting in the race. And that's another reason to say, as an outsider, I've got to step up potentially and do something and get involved, because we cannot have McConnell Inc. continuing to have their grasp on Kentucky.
So, yeah, I mean, there's Andy Barr, who actually called me over the weekend, and he wants to talk. I don't know him very well. I know that he lost his wife tragically, and that was terrible a couple of years ago. And then Daniel Cameron, who I've only met once or twice, just educate our audience, because this is a very important thing. We don't want another member of the McConnell Mafia going to the Senate. I have nothing negative to say about either one of these guys. I mean, Andy, I'll call back, I guess. So tell me more, like, what exactly do these people stand for, and what is disturbing about it? And so just educate the audience on the significance of the seat.
Well, first off, they're both very nice men, both of them. But I will say there's a stark contrast. And, someone like Daniel Cameron is the son Mitch McConnell never had. And he has made his entire career through McConnell Inc. And Andy Barr, there's a clip that went viral a few days ago on social media calling Mitch McConnell his mentor, is a 50-plus-year-old man calling Mitch McConnell his mentor. So I think that the contrast of what we need today is not a rubber stamp for Mitch McConnell, not McConnell 2.0, not another 40 years of Mitch McConnell. We've got to take a different track. We know the direction we've been going in Kentucky with who we sent to the Senate in this seat has not worked. And we've seen evidence of that over the last few weeks as Mitch McConnell has done everything he can to sabotage President Trump's agenda.
That is well said. Closing thoughts here, Nate. I mean, you're an outsider. You're thinking about, getting into this race and understand the significance of it. The people of Kentucky are some of the greatest. I had an aunt there. She actually just passed away a couple weeks ago. It was terrible. I actually was in Louisville a couple weeks ago. I love the people of Kentucky. They're wonderful patriots. I think they deserve better. I think they deserve better than a warmongering, sending money overseas, open border, performative Republican. And instead, they want a true fighter. Just talk more about what you're weighing. And I mean, you've built a really incredible business, and this would be a serious life change for you, would it not?
Well, Charlie, I got pretty good at taking out garbage and cleaning up messes, and I think that's probably where I'd start in Washington. But look, I'm proud that I'm a ninth-generation Kentuckian. I grew up in a single-parent home. Most of my family were factory workers at the Ford plant in Kentucky. And I bring a unique perspective. I grew up going to union halls, and I'm a new kind of Republican that's focused on the working class and focused on the American worker. And that's what we need in Kentucky. Someone that's not going to forget the hardworking people of our Commonwealth and the jobs that they have to do, and giving them more opportunity to make a better life for themselves. And I'm a product of that. I had so many people help me, and I feel like there's going to come a day where I've got to give something back and help some others as well.
Nate, can't wait to see what you do. It is time for the McConnell era to end, and you seem like a great guy. Let us know what happens, and we will not tolerate a McConnell disciple, a member of that mafia, to be the U.S. Senator. We won't put up with that. Thanks so much, Nate.